So a couple days ago, I did a video and I titled it "The FBA Movement," and I got a lot of backlash because a lot of people were like, "It's not a movement; it's a lineage." And so since then, I did edit it, and I was saying, I know it's a lineage, but I still kept it up as movement because I wanted to put an emphasis on the fact that I was just learning about this thing, and it kind of came off like another one of those Black Power movements. Now, with that out of the way, I just want to make this very clear statement. If the FBA lineage considered me to be a tether or a Sambo or whatever derogatory term that they have for people that they don't like, I'm totally fine with that. Telling me what my lineage is doesn't change my lineage. Asking me where I'm from uh, does not change my lineage. And for the record, before there was the FBA lineage to give people a sense of identity, I come from a long line of married folk. So it's very easy for me to trace my lineage. Another thing that I wanted to point out, I'm really intrigued by the Sambo class. And the person that I really wanted to focus on with the Sambo class is Jesse Lee Peterson.
You speak very well and you're Black. How did that happen?
What does that mean?
You speak well. You speak like a white person. How did that happen?
Now, Jesse Lee Peterson is known for not accepting himself as a Black person. He considered himself Black on the outside and white on the inside. And one thing that I do really love about the whole FBA lineage is that it really gives people like me a chance to zero in on how I'm treated. If you notice, Jesse Lee Peterson is talking to a Black man, and he's like, "Oh, you talk real proper. You sound white." I'm gonna tell you something about FBAs. Dusty FBAs hate clean FBAs. I've been dealing with this my whole entire life. I know there are a lot of FBAs who are like against like tethers or they're against Sambos, but you can never match the animosity that an FBA has against another FBA. Now, once again, my folks are from here. And it used to kind of get under my skin when people would say that I think I'm white or I talk white, because the one thing that my forefathers had to deal with was white people always delegitimizing what they've done. And it really puts salt in the wounds when the very people that are a part of your lineage don't respect all the effort and the work in generations that you've put in to overcome.
How do I speak like a white person?
All proper and right, and you can understand you use the right words, and how did that happen?
I'm confused by your question. How do I?
You speak like a white man.
I do?
Yeah, and that's good, not bad. But I'm just wondering, how did that happen?
Or do I speak like a Black man?
No.
Oh, I don't speak like a black man? Black men are well-read. We go to college. We take care of our kids. We pay our taxes. We do our responsibility. So I don't know how that is white. I know that's what Black men do. That's what I know.
But now it gets a little different, because although FBA is a lineage, there are still some distinctions in the lineages. So for example, the majority of FBAs are born out of wedlock. I come from a long line of FBAs who were married. I'm an anomaly because of that. So a lot of FBAs reject me because my parents are married and my grandparents are married. So even when I did the video before that everybody's all upset about because how it's titled, when I think of those people that's like, "Oh, it's a lineage," I don't see myself as one of them. I come from the Haley family. I don't know what family they come from. I married into the Vale family. My children have their father's name. I also carry their father's name. And this is how FBAs used to be before it got all ghetto. See, just because we have the FBA lineage acknowledgement doesn't mean that the issues in the FBA community have been fixed. It's just magnified now. So when I talk about African Americans, everybody know I'm not talking about Elon Musk. Or when I talk about Black people, everybody knows I'm not talking about people from Haiti. It's a wonderful thing because now when I talk about Black people who don't like me because they call me a pick me, we know who we're talking about now. So I appreciate that part of it. But I have to say this once again, before FBAs knew that their lineage was different from other melanated people, I already knew that. You know why? Because my father claimed my mother, and my grandfathers claimed my grandmothers, and I already had a lineage before there was this acknowledgement. Furthermore, I have to say this, although I'm speaking in a very stern manner, I still do love the FBA people because the FBAs on the internet ain't the first people to reject me. I got people in my family that don't care for me because I decided not to live a hood life. I decided not to live a street life. I decided not to be a dusty. And one thing with the FBA community, if you're not engaging in groupthink, it's just like it was before the FBA lineage acknowledgement. Black people don't like Black people. FBAs don't like FBAs. It's just now the attack is a little different because when you sit here and tell me where I'm from, who's always being told, oh, you ain't what you think you is. Listen, just because there are Black people out here who care about who they are and we care about our families and we're trying to live the right way, doesn't mean that we're not who we are. But you know what? Here's the crazy thing. Y'all are actually doing the work of your slave masters at this point. Other groups outside of FBA, they don't have to put FBAs like me down because there's plenty of you FBAs who don't like FBAs that you don't understand or don't agree with. So now here's another way for you to not just discredit me and disrespect me, but you're discrediting my grandfather who was a sharecropper or my foreparents who were attacked by the Ku Klux Klan. There are things that my family has been through and there are traumas that I still deal with just like other FBAs. But here's the difference. My family stayed together. And just because it's typical that most FBA families weren't really families, they were just people just having kids and getting on welfare and figuring it out. Just because I can think on my own and I have been put in a position to where I've taken advantage of doing better than the generations before me doesn't give you a right to insult my lineage that I've known before Tariq Nasheed. But at the same time, I understand. It's the internet. I don't take it personally. But I just wanted people to know, just because you have a problem with me doesn't mean that that changes my lineage.